I'm having a problem with this thing. So I have a free, incredible gift for you, but I'm not going to give you the word yet until I know it's hooked up. I wanted to show you this little tube of toothpaste that I bought. This thing was $23. It came in a big box, and I thought, oh, well, that's great. Then I opened it, and I was like, $23? And I need it because my teeth are a little sensitive. All right, we are going to talk about all things guides, and I have an incredible gift for you, but I have to wait until my team hooks it up. So let me just check. Yeah, so hopefully let me try texting her because I have this great gift for you, but I don't want to give you the word until it's hooked up. So let me try texting her really fast. But we're going to talk about guides. We have a lot to talk about. It's really good stuff. You're going to enjoy it. Okay, so we will wait until that's happening, but to give you this free gift. But I want to talk to you about guides because it's my platform. It's something that I teach. I teach people around the world, and I really want to get you using your guides on a regular basis because it has completely changed my life. So first of all, let's talk about what is a guide. What is a guide? Tell me what a guide is. What is a guide? What is a guide? Hi, Camille. So what is a guide? Because many people are really confused about what a guide is or what a guide can be. We're going to talk about psychic versus medium, how to feel and see a guide. I have the best present for you where you're going to meet a guide and you're going to get one of my quick meditations of how to feel and see a guide. Woo, I just burped too. Thank God you're not in front of me because you would have gotten my burp too. I'm a guide. Thanks, Paula. Let's put that on the screen. I'm a guide. I like that. Hi, Linda. All right, we're waiting till my team because Be Live messed up. By the way, I'm leaving Be Live, I think, because I'm so annoyed by this. So here we go. What is a guide? Let's have some fun today, everybody, okay? We need to have some freaking fun. Is everybody ready for some fun? This is a magic wand that somebody gave me on my trip to Carmel when I was thinking about moving to Northern California. So it's a magic wand. Okay, what is a guide? What is a guide? I want to hear what a guide is. What is a guide? A guide is anyone or anything that really can help you to stand in the power of your soul, stand in your light. Thank you, Sandra. A guide is anyone or any creative living or spirit, magical, etc., who helps you. Sandra's in membership for your soul, so she knows what a guides are. My guides are funny, Paula says. Okay, so a guide could be a tree. It could be a dog. A dog. He really wants to go hike, but we're going to hike after this. It could be planetary. It could be an angel. It could be ascended master. It could be somebody who's never walked the earth plane before. It could be a crystal. It could be a mountain. It could be a rock. It could be anything at all. So don't worry, you're going to get a guide, Linda, because I have a guide for you. But I can't give you that gift until I hear from my team person that it's all hooked up. Let me tell Laura. Okay, so it could be any one of those things. It doesn't matter. So people get really confused when they think it can only be an angel. It can only be a deceased loved one. It can only be this. That's bullshit. It can be all these things that are possible. Here's the other thing you need to know. So a guide could be anything at all. It's got to be a guide that has your highest light and in the highest alignment with your soul. So when you meet a guide, you want to make sure that they are in the highest light and highest alignment with your soul. And how you do that, one of my tricks is, it's a really, really interesting trick. You ready for it? You ask them, It's been my experience that when you ask them, are you from my highest light and highest light of my soul, that they answer honestly, that they will say yes or no. And if they say no, you got to say, keep walking, buddy. Keep going. I don't want to hang out with you. And if they say yes, you're like, hey, yo, sit down. Let's talk. So that's how it works. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I've had people say to me, this reader told me that Archangel Michael's too busy for me. What? Archangel Michael's too busy for you? The fuck is that? Or I've had people say to me, how can we all have the same guide? My guide is scary, all these kinds of things. Now, that's a very limited consciousness if you think that Archangel Michael can't be everyone's guide. That's thinking in your linear, earthly, human type of way. It's not thinking in a real cosmic, universal way. So guides can be, Jesus can be all of our guides. Archangel Michael can be all of our guides. I'm going to piss off some Christians if they happen to see this thing. So I just want you to know that, just because they have a whole thing with Jesus. Apparently they have the rights to Jesus and I don't. So the Christians, the born again Christians, and I can say this because they attack me on my Facebook ads. So anybody can be a guide, and we could all have Archangel Michael if we want to have Archangel Michael. You want to have a guide that reflects the truth of your soul, your heart. Your guides are direct reflectors of your soul. And what that means is they are bringing your light out. They are helping you to sit in your light. They are helping you to sit in the power of your soul. They're helping you to be ultimately who you are. So let me see if this gift is hooked up yet. Not yet. I'm going to try calling her. Poor Trisha. I drive my team nuts. They're so good to me. I'm going to try calling her. Whoops. No, I didn't want to call you. Let me try calling her. All right. I have a gift for you. I don't have an international plan. I've always had an international plan. Oh, can't call her. She's international. For some reason, something happens. Okay, so let's keep going then as I wait and wait. They changed my plan. I got to call Verizon. I don't know why they did that. So now you know a guide is a direct reflector of your soul. A guide can be a planet, a tree, a person, somebody who's never walked the earth plane. It could be a piece of energy. I once had a guide that was above me that was just energy. She felt feminine to me because that's the way I understood it. And she was just colored light, just light. So it was beautiful. Now so they are direct reflectors of your soul. You can see and feel your guide. You complicate it. Because your guides are always communicating with you. It's just that your mind chatter gets in the way and you can't communicate with them. So you have difficulty communicating with them. They are here for your highest good. They sometimes may not give you a full answer. And the reason why they won't give you a full answer is because your soul has to evolve before they can drop in more information. So somebody had asked recently, it was Guy, he said, your guides sometimes don't answer you. And I'm like, no, because sometimes they want you to learn something first before they answer that question. So sometimes they won't give a full answer, but they're always supporting you. They're always with you. They're always helping you. They're always guiding you. So when I was asking where to move, they weren't telling me where to live, but they were giving me more information of what I needed to know about where to move, like what I wanted to experience, what I wanted to feel. They also really had me trust them. They made me lean into them for complete trust. They're always with you. Guides can come in and out. So look, I can only talk to you about my experience with guides. I had one guide who came in. Do you guys know my guide story, how I met my guide? Who knows that story? I'm trying to waste time right now until our gift is hooked up, but we still can't find her. All right, I'm going to have to let it go. So you'll have to get the gift another time. I've had a great gift for you. So I had a guide right away that one came through, but he was a guide that prepared me for my other guides. So I have a certain amount of guides. I don't share it. I find it's very private to me. It's an intimate thing. I don't want to share it. I have a very intimate relationship with my guides. But so far, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4 of them have been with me since I met them after working with the first initial guide who just taught me how to do it. So the others go in and out. Now, they don't go in and out, like, depending on what happens is they'll be with you. And then if you're done with that particular work with that guide, what will happen is they'll start preparing you that they're leaving. So you'll start feeling their energies dissipate. And whenever I'm in, like if I'm in a channeled meditation, I'm working with different my guides. My guides are always the same. I know where they stand. I know who they are. I know their names. I know their energy. I know how they feel. And if a guide is getting ready to leave me because he's done his work with me, he's done with it, I could feel the energy dissipating, and I'll be like, oh, you're getting ready to leave. And it usually takes about a month before they leave, because they want to get you ready as they go out and get you ready for the new energy that's coming in. See, so many people think like that. I'll have people say to me, I met my guide and I'm scared. And I'll be like, I tap into the energy for them. And I'm like, are you really afraid, or are you just afraid of the energy that they're bringing in? And I think every time I ask that question, the person comes back to me and they says, no, it's their energy, the energy they're bringing in. Think about it. Like, if guides are so full of love, unconditional love, and if you're not ready to receive unconditional love, that could feel really foreign and strange, and you're not ready to receive it. So if you have a new powerful guide coming in, you're not ready to receive that energy because of whatever belief system you got running through you, low self-worth, whatever's happening. So they're getting ready for it. So we're covering a lot of material in a short period of time. Let me know your questions around guides and I will answer them. So that is how that works. Now, what I do and what I teach my students is to tell your guide. Usually when my guides came in, let me tell you the story of my guides. Let me see if Trisha's around yet. No, unfortunately, you're not going to get this gift. That upsets me because I have a great gift for you. So you'll have to tune into my page this week, and we'll give you the gift with something else, or I'll have to give it to you next week. Anyway, so when I first started working with my guides, I was really depressed, really sad. I was seeing a therapist who was helping me understand my gifts as a medium. And I felt something leaning on me. And I went into her office and I was like, I feel something leaning on me. Like I could just feel this energy leaning and pushing me over. And she said, what is it? And close your eyes, tell me what it is. And I closed my eyes and I went into a channel session and I trusted it right away. That's why I was able to do it. I didn't have mind chatter in my way. I didn't, because of all the dream therapy work I did. There's such a long story here. So I just trusted it, and I started talking to this guide, and she's like, okay, you have to talk to him all the time. And I started talking to him, and then I couldn't remember what we were saying, so I started recording it. And then he was the one who taught me everything about my guides today. And I could tell you, when I first started channeling, it would take me like 30 minutes to work my vibration up to their level as they worked their vibration down to mine. And many times when I was working my vibration up, I would get really nauseous and I'd have to stop the meditation because the energy, the vibration was so strong that I was purifying myself, rising my vibration, that I was going to throw up. So I would sometimes have to stop and I'd have to go eat crackers, or I'd have to drink water. Sometimes I'd lay flat out on the wooden floor because I was taught how to breathe through the back of my back, through my chakras, to neutralize my energy. And then I would go back into the meditation because I wanted to. And then it would take me like 30 minutes. Doesn't take that long now. I can do it in an instant. Take me like 30 minutes to get up there. And then we'd have this incredible conversation. And then I'd come down out of it. And I would be like, oh, it was so beautiful. Like, who the frig wants to be here? That's the way I felt about my life then, because my life then was not what it looks like today. So it was really amazing. So it takes a while to build up to your relationship. The relationship is like any other relationship. You're building trust with each other. And when I mean trust with each other is, I feel like they came in with trust. I didn't. I was a skeptical medium. So I was like, yeah, I don't know, prove it. You know, I was like one of those. And, but you're still building trust with each other. You're still learning how to work together. So you're learning and building a relationship with each other. So it's like any other relationship. And another thing people do is they bow down to their guides. And you don't want to do that because it's a co-creative relationship. My guides, when I bowed down to them, because they are teaching guides, they knew way before I knew that I was going to be teaching this material to people all around the world. I had no idea about this stuff. And when I met them, and at one point I bowed down to them because I was so humbled by everything they were sharing with me and how much they loved me and they were helping me. They bowed down to me. And I was like, what are you doing? And they were like, well, you're helping us as much as we're helping you. And they taught me how it's a co-creative relationship. Oh, you're all putting the word in, so Trisha must have fixed it. Thanks, Laura. Laura fixed it. Okay, so if you put the word feel in, you are going to get that present. Yay! Oh my goodness, that was heck. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Everybody thank Laura. Thanks, Laura. So now I can organize my thoughts and not worry about any of this. All right. So if you put the word feel in, you're going to get a kick-ass gift. You're also going to meet your guide. You're going to meet a guide. Okay. Now let me talk about the guides that you're going to meet. And some of you already met these guides because some of you have been following me and you're in my programs and you know. You can pick a different guide and don't worry about it. So I'm going to have you pick a number from 1 to 15 when you get this gift, and you're going to get a guide. Now, like Guy, I'm going to use Guy again because he's new to me and he asked these really interesting questions because he's new to the guide world. And he said to me, well, I don't like my guide's name. And I said, well, then change it. And he said, I don't want to offend her. And I said, she doesn't care. She doesn't care at all. So basically, these guides that I'm giving to you were channeled to me. And my guides knew who was going to get these guides. They just knew. They know years from now who's going to get these guides. And they know. And so you may get a guide like Blythe. That's one of the guides' names. And let it speak to you. It's just a beginning. So let it speak to you. So in this free gift, you're going to get how to see and feel the guide too. So you're going to work with that. So let's talk a little bit about that. So I teach, so my guides came in. So my little guide, my first little guide, he was right here. He was always here. He taught me. He looked like a gnome. He didn't like me calling him a gnome. But I needed that because it was so scary for me. All the spirits I was seeing and everything I was feeling and getting locked indoors. You guys probably don't know about the rooms I got locked into and how I walked in a door and had to get 7 stitches in my head. There are some good stories about my beginnings. And I was scared. I was tired of people, ghosts touching my feet, shaking my bed, turning things on. Like there was shit that was going on and I was not digging it. It was not cool. So when I met him, he had to be like a gnome in order for me to feel comfortable because they'll stand at a certain proximity too. Your guys may be inside you too, and that's okay. So this one was fairly close to me, and that's a close proximity to me. And so he was a gnome, and he taught me everything about my guys. And he taught me so when they came in, he taught me how to have them stand in one particular place every single time. So I have a guide, pretty much my main guide, I would say she's in front of me. She's probably about 6 to 7 feet out in front of me, maybe a little bit, about 6 to 7 feet out in front of me. She's always there. She's always in that position. So when I used to be a reader that did parties, I would go to a party, right? I have a bunch of guides. I'm not telling you how many I have because I think it's intimate and private. So whenever I'd go into a reading, I'd go into a place that was new to me, right? I know my room where she stands. It didn't matter where I was. She was always in front of me. You see how that works? It's magic. So I'm not like in a new room going, where am I? Where are they? I know who stands here. I know who stands here. I know who stands here. You think it's 3. It's more than 3. So that's what you do. So you want to have them stand in the same place at all times. You have to learn what they feel like to you. So he taught me everything I know because when I was learning about my guides, there wasn't the internet. There wasn't all this stuff out there. There was one book with one chapter on clairaudience, which is clear hearing. And I was hearing. They had to teach me everything about clairaudience. They taught me about clairvoyancy that wasn't even out there in the books. They taught me about claircognizance. They taught me everything. Your guides can do the same because this is the thing that I teach people. You're the instrument. I'm not the instrument. You're the instrument. So the way your guides work with you is going to be different than my guides work with me. We may call it clairvoyancy, clear seeing, but you may see different than the way I see. You may feel the seeing in a different way. You also want to, and this is, I don't know if Lily's on here. I have to do a video in membership. I keep forgetting to do it about how the gifts are layered. So that is some of my truth about guides. I have a lot to teach about guides, a lot. So matter of fact, everybody in membership, you have, I just found out, I don't think Trisha's done it yet, but some of you don't have Everyday Guided Living, and I don't know why. That's one of the core courses that you're getting. So for those of you who are new in membership, you're going to get the Everyday Guided Living, which is really, really good. It's an updated class on the 28-day challenge, constant communication with your guides. And you'll really, really love it, because that's going to teach you how to feel them. So ask me all your questions about guides right now. I'm going to share one more thing about them. I got really thrown by that gift thing. Did you all see my tube of toothpaste that I paid $23 for? Do you see the size of it? You know what they do? They put it in a big box. A big box. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh, 23, yeah, fine. Because I'm having sensitivity problems. I opened it up. I was like, what the fuck? That's small. So what are your questions about guides? One of the other things I wanted to teach you, there was something else. Feeling, oh, okay. So the other thing my guides did is, and this is something I teach. So when they first, my right ear started opening up first. Do you guys know that story? A lot of my members know these stories already, so I don't want to bore you. Anyway. Better have diamonds in it, right, Stacy? Oh, Stacy, I still have to answer your message. It's been crazy busy. So I was working for MTV. We did a thing called Fly 2K, where they chartered a plane and took like 100 winners to England, Rome, France, and no, Iceland. We went to Iceland first, then France, then Rome, then England. I can't remember where we went, but we went to all these different places. Finland, we went to Finland. We went to Finland first, and then Rome, and then Paris and England. Rome, Paris, and England. And it was with the Goo Goo Dolls and 98 Degrees, and we chartered this whole plane. But before, so all my gifts were opening up then, and I didn't know, like, this is what I was doing. I was working for MTV and traveling around and, you know, hanging out with musicians, you know, whatever, like I was hanging out with them, whatever. And I went to Canada to meet with the plane company, and my ear got clogged in Canada, so I couldn't fly home. And it kept ringing and clogged, and I went home. And before that, I was talking to people, like I'd be talking on the phone, and I couldn't hear them. I was like, I can't hear you. What are you saying? What? And I would hear before that, I would hear people calling my name. I'd turn around, nobody was there. I'd hear whispering outside my ear. I was like, who is that? I was like, it's my angels. I don't know what they're saying. So I didn't know this. I didn't know I didn't know what clairaudience was then. And so I went to this ENT doctor, ear, nose, and throat specialist, because, you know, the ear thing. And she was like, she's Woody Allen, Celine Dion's doctor. So you could get the idea of the type of doctor it was. And she's testing my ear, and she's like, you've got stellar hearing. Like, it's superb. And I'm like, I can't hear anything. That can't be. And it kept going on. And I went back to her a month later, and she did another hearing test, because they put a tube in there to try to drain it and stuff like that. She's like, Marilyn, your hearing's phenomenal. It's like off the charts. It's really good. And that's when I started learning it was clairaudience, clear hearing. And they were doing all these things to me to hear. So my right ear opened up. And so when my guide started talking to me, it lands right here. Now that's me. That's not you. That's me. It lands right here. So I always, now it's different now because I know them so well, but I always know it's them because that's where I hear them. That's a way to know your guides. That's a way to know that they're communicating with you, because I know if I ask them a question, should I move to Australia? they'll tell me. And if they're telling me here, then I know it's not them, it's my thoughts. But if I'm hearing it here, I know it's them. All right, let me know your questions. And remember to put in feel, because I am going to give you the best gift ever. So Ash says, my guides come to me as animals. It's great. When I was learning, opening up, I was really scared, guys. I was fucking petrified. I don't think you know these stories. And I feel like this whole live got messed up because of that damn friggin' thing. Pissed me off. I'm going to save some of these stories. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do another live about it. So let's do your questions instead, because I have some really fun stories. One of them has to do with an egg. I have to tell you the egg story, because the egg story is really funny. So I was working with this medium. I was seeing spirits. I walked in the door, got 7 stitches in my head. This psychic said to me, the dead are trying to reach you. Oh, she said, you have to see a medium. I went to a medium. She said, oh my, you're a medium. The minute she walked in the door, the floodgates opened. So all these spirits are coming in and scaring the bejesus out of me. So I went to this medium to try to get, like, what do I do? What do I do? And one of the things she had me do was take an egg, put it in distilled water in the rooms. And after a week, I had to put that egg in a brown paper bag, drive 2 miles away, and throw it out. So I did this. And if the egg cracked before the week was up, you had to put it in a brown paper bag and get rid of it right away. So I was dropping eggs off all around Los Angeles. So for like, but it never cracked. It always like was a week, and it would last. And then I'd wrap it in a brown paper bag and, drive 2 miles, run out of my car, toss it, get rid of it. And it was helping. It was the egg attracted the energy of the spirits. So one night, it was like midnight, and the egg was cracked. And I was like, I am not getting in my car and driving 2 miles to drop this egg off somewhere. I'm just not fucking doing it. So I put the egg in a brown paper bag. I like duct taped it. I stuck it in the downstairs communal mailbox. And I wake up the next morning, and the egg and its bag is outside my door. And I'm like, fucking egg. But it worked. So this was the crazy things that I did in order to get with myself. All right, let me see your questions. Where was it? Camille says, clogged and cannot hear what people are saying to me. My left owned years ago, not since, but awaiting. So Camille, you have the clairaudience lesson in Membership for Your Soul. You should definitely do it again. Whenever that happens, you want to lean into it and see what it's trying to tell you. So, for me, I don't do anything with a period at the end of it. Everything's a ... technique. So for me, it would always be, I would lean into the ringing. I'd see what color the ringing was. I'd see where the ringing was location-wise, because you may hear ringing in your ear, but your guides may be bringing you into your head here. So you never want to just look at it linear. You want to look at it in a very big sense. I would ask the ringing to talk to me. I would ask it to sing to me. I would do so many things with it that we could talk about in membership to get that opened up and to find out what it was communicating with me. I get a tingling feeling on my left and right legs, though not together. Could that be my guides there? I also hear a high frequency buzz in my ear sometimes. Yeah, definitely. So So before I knew any of this, right, I was living in an apartment in Brooklyn with my friend, and there was a ghost in the apartment, and it loved to hang out in my fucking room. And we were both very sensitive. So we would both know when the ghost was there and when the ghost left. My friends would come over and they'd be like, is the ghost here? And we stopped talking about it. My friend and I we just stopped talking about it. We were just tired of it. Like the answering machine would talk to us. We'd see it running down the hall. Like crazy stuff happened. So my friends would come over. Our other friends would come over and they'd be like, is the ghost back? And I'd be like, yeah, it came back. And my friend would be like, yeah, on Tuesday. And I'm like, yeah, Tuesday. Like we both knew when it would come and go. And it would always touch me. They like to touch you. So the tingling could be a couple of things. The tingling could be a communication to get moving in your life. They could be communicating with you that way. It could be some healing work. Now, I can't speak to the physical, medical. If there's something medical going on, you've got to check that out. Ringing in the ears, you've got to check that out. I'm not a doctor. But tingling could be that. It could be them just letting you know, or they could be waking up some vibration inside of you. So there's many different things. And the buzzing in the ear is definitely clairaudience opening up, clear hearing. Okay. I have another fun haunted story. I'm going to have to come back with these stories because I've got a lot of stories I haven't told in a long time. That's great. Jackie says, I hear mine about 6 inches from my right ear. Really good, Jackie. That's very good that you recognize that. I love that. Love that. Love that. Yeah. So Stacy knows, she's in Membership for Your Soul. Mine do that when they're sending me downloads. I ask them to back it off, and they do, which is good. That's the thing I teach. I teach that, like, my members know we're in co-creation with our guides. We aren't just like allowing them to do anything to me. I can't remember who asked, because somebody asked recently in membership. There were 2 things. One woman was telling us about a ghost that came into her room, and I said, I don't allow that. I'm like a lighthouse. So all the neighborhood ghosts, whenever I move into a new house, they're like, oh, look, the medium's here. And I could see them out my window like, hey. And I'm like, you ain't getting in. You're not allowed in here. So I don't allow that nonsense to happen. They know that. The other thing, too, is my guides, when I first started working with them, I said, you are not allowed to come in whenever you want. You are not allowed to do that to me. I am not going to be the medium in the grocery store tapping people on the shoulder going, your father's here and he's telling me blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to do that. Nothing against Teresa Caputo. I think she's adorable and really good at what she does. I don't care about those other mediums that do that. I wanted to have a normal life, or pretend to have a normal life. Because I can tell you, like, many times I'm on the tennis court and there's like a spirit there, but I've learned to turn it off and turn it on. So I told my guides, you can't come in whenever you want. It's not allowed. Then about 5 years into working with them, they said, you have to let us come in whenever we want now. And I said, it's okay now. It's okay. So they do that. And there's a bigger story to that I'm not going to tell right now. When I was young, I used to see spirits, not so much anymore, but I do have that buzzing in my ear all the time. So Mary, a lot of us had it when we were little. Some people, if you didn't have it from your little, does not mean you're not gifted. That's bullshit. There's so much available to us right now, so you can open up anytime you want. So what I would say to you, Mary, sweetie, is whenever somebody tells me they had it when they were this, but they don't have it anymore because they pushed it away because they were scared or the parents didn't believe it or whatever it was. Sandra, I have a story about a hand. Sandra's like, I'm loving these stories. I have so many stories I haven't told in a long time. I think I'm going to have to do story hour. But Mary, for you, honey, I tell people don't compare it to what it used to be. Let it be something new. So start opening it up again. Start working with clairaudience. Start working with your guides. If you put in the word feel, you're going to meet a guide. And you are going to get a meditation of how to see and feel a guide, a quick meditation. She also lost her son. I'm so sorry, Mary. She said, when my son passed, when I was in the funeral parlor, I saw him running down the hallway and he was in a wheelchair his whole life. I love that. Love that, Mary. Sending you so much love. Breaks my heart when people go through this. It's funny. I was thinking about, it's not funny at all. I was thinking about Children's Hospital last night. Micah and I used to go to Children's Hospital. And I don't know why I thought about this story last night, and you're reminding me of it now. And I remember going into a room and Micah getting on the bed. And I think the kid only got a couple of days to, he was at his end. And the mother was praying fervently with the Bible over him. She was panic stricken. And of course, and Micah was there, the parent, the kid, everybody, all our attention is on the dog because it's so intense in the room. And I remember her asking about prayer, and I believe in prayer and I believe in Jesus. And I was just thinking about that last night, and I was thinking about these poor parents that go through these experiences. And Mary, I'm sure I'm sharing this story with you because there's probably somebody you're going to help because of your story and your belief. Because I thought about that boy last night, and this is not towards you, honey, so please don't take this towards you. It was just that experience. And I was thinking about, I was feeling everything in the room, and I was thinking about the boy knowing that he was coming at his end. The mother so desperate for a miracle, and I believe in miracles, and what it must have been like for the two of them at that very end of their life, of his life, and I'm sure I felt from him like he needed to be let go at that point, and a parent, so there's something in this story I'm sharing with you that may be helpful for you with other people. And I hope that I'm not disrespecting your experience in any way, shape, or form, because that's not what I'm doing. My heart goes out to you. Okay, so hopefully you can receive that. Let me know how you receive that. And if I upset you in any way, please know that was not my intention. Susan asks, we get into some intense stuff here. Susan says, I have a portal on one wall of my house. I had one in my friggin' closet. I know when spirits are with me, I see them, I feel them. I just can't always understand their messages. Well, you need to get into a training program to learn how to do it. It's a messel. You don't learn it overnight. And your mind chatter is, and you, Susan, just talked about your thoughts. Your thoughts and your mind chatter are in your way. That's what stops you from talking to your son. I mean, not your son, your spirits, talking to your spirits. It's mind chatter. None of this was in my way because I did so much work on it through my dream therapy stuff. I'm not going to get into that right now because I have too many stories. I want you all to put in feel so you get the free gift. So that was out of my way. So I was able to communicate with my guide. So you got to get the mind chatter out of the way. Hi, Ted. Alex. Buzzing my hairs happens when I'm healthy, when I'm in a healthy way looking for answers. That's great. You got to learn how they're communicating with you. You're all in your own experience. Boundaries, even with guides, etc. I would have lost my mind over seeing, hearing dead people. If I hadn't set boundaries, they wouldn't let me sleep. Totally, Sharon. I've had so many boundaries I had to. Before I knew how to set up boundaries, this would be me. No lie. I remember in my kitchen once, there was one at my door. Get the fuck out of here. I would scream like a Brooklyn banshee crazy woman because I didn't know how to have the boundary at that point. And I was just like, I'm serious, get the fuck out. Here's the thing people don't realize. If you're yelling at them to leave and you're still curious because you're like, oh, this is exciting, this is fun, that attracts them, that keeps them there. They can't hurt you. I don't believe in any of that bullshit. I don't adopt that belief. What's scary is you're feeling everything they want you to feel. You feel unsafe and unprotected. There's energy all around you. They're touching you. You know, you can have these weird experiences. I did, but you have free will. So you can ask them to go. I believe in free will above anything else. So because I adopt free will, I was able to get them out of my house. And to this day, I don't get bothered. And sometimes, so I'm so good at locking out my house. It's already locked, you know, like they can't come in. I have a story about that. But when I'm dreaming, and if a spirit's trying to come in, because that's when they try to come in, because your mind chatter shut off and they're like, ooh, there's a way in. I will be in a dream, in a full-on dream, feel them, and start shutting down my house while I'm dreaming. I'll be like, oh, Archangel Michael, and how I shut down my house. And it's really kind of cool because, and then I never wake up. I don't even wake up. I continue on with the dream because I've shut it down. So there's so many ways to do it, which is so good. Story hour, please. I know I'm going to have to do story hour. Okay, so remember, if you're just joining me, get feel. We have a really cool gift. You're going to meet a guide, pick a number from 1 to 15, meet a guide, and then you're going to learn how to see and feel them in a very short video. I want to share Mary's story because it's so beautiful. She said, yes, it was unbelievable the night he passed away. He was on a respirator and he shed a tear and a hawk came to the window and spread his wings and Jonathan took his last breaths. He was a special boy. Thank you, Mary, for sharing that. Everybody, let's just give a moment to Mary. Thank you, sweetie. Okay. So this is a great question, Sheridan. First of all, I'm sorry about your dad. She said, my dad is almost 95 and his body is breaking down. Can my guides help him cross over? Your guides can talk to his guides. So I have very strict rules as I work and what I teach. It's not up to my guides to take care of blah, blah, blah. Whenever I do a reading, it's my guides are talking to your guides. So what I would suggest you do is just ask your guides to talk to his guides or his soul and do what's best for him. Because I also, now I'm not, so some healers are different than me, right? But I believe that, because I don't use the healing modality, I use voice, I use teaching as a healing modality. I have it in my hands, I barely use it. So I use it more in energy and talking and story motivating and teaching. But that's how I would suggest doing it, Sheridan, because for me personally, and this is my belief system, it may not be yours, I have a lot of, I don't know how to say it, but I just have a lot of things. That's how I do it. I'm just going to explain it that way. So I would say I would ask my guides to help his guides help him. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Mary. I'm just going to share Mary's story right now. So that's a lot to deal with, Mary. So my prayer for you, Mary, is through so much heartache, through so much trauma, that you, whatever, I feel like there's people you can help through these stories. I don't want to, unless I was talking to you and coaching you, I want to be very careful on a Facebook Live what I say to you, because these are very traumatic experiences. But there's something here for you to do with this much pain and trauma that will help other people. So I will share that. Okay. Yeah, Sandra. So Sandra said, my mother-in-law was in a hospital. A guide from the list Marilyn gave you today was presenting itself as a Palomino horse. Love it. It literally walked down the hospital concrete stairs with me every day. I could mentally hear the clip clop. I felt the need to walk closer to the railing to even give the horse room. I love that, Sandra. Sandra is very magical. Sandra is in my membership of your soul. She does her own work. She's incredible. She's a medium, shaman. She's just so many things. But Sandra, I love that. And when I remember when you were going through that and how you see Sandra, this is what I teach. You see Sandra go through some traumatic experiences, but she's always so in touch with her guides that she's always elevating her experience. I have chills with this. She's always elevating her experience and then sharing it in such a way that you learn from it, that it's so storytelling. It's so beautiful. There's so much trust and faith in your story, Sandra. Getting so much chills. So this is it, sweetie. Share your stories, because there's so much trust and faith in what she shares, and her vulnerability and transparency of what she shares. It's so beautiful. You go along the journey with her and you learn with her. So it's really very beautiful. Okay. Feel. All right. Let's see. I think let me see if there's any more questions. Otherwise, I'll end with another story. Oh, nothing happened when you typed feel. Don't tell me that. Go into Messenger. Oh. If not, I will do another live. Don't worry about it. Okay. You know, I was praying to Jesus for you, Mary. So I love this. I didn't say it. So that's one of my mediumship moments where you don't say what you want to say. But that's what I was praying. So I love that. Thank you. Oh, Laura's on. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, that's great. Okay. You're welcome, Mary. You're welcome. And it's so funny. I was praying for Jesus. I love that. I'm so glad. Okay. So you put in feel. You're going to meet a guide. You're going to learn how to see and feel a guide. Let's summarize something, and then I'll end with a ghost story, my own personal ghost story. Yay. Yeah, I do want to do story hour. That's why I want to do the podcast. But anyway, I can't come up with a good title yet. So guides, what can guides be? Guides can be anything, in my opinion. Oh, I want to tell you the difference between a psychic and a medium. That's a big one for me. Okay, ready? So guides can be anything. Guides could be the moon, the stars, a planet, the tree, animals, angels, ascended masters, deceased loved ones. That's a little bit of a difficulty that I'd have to teach people about. Water, rain, anything, any kind of energy. It's energy. It could be something that's never walked on the earth plane. It could be color. It could be vibration. It could be symbol. Could be dogs. It could be your higher self. So it can be anything. That's what guides can be. Ask your guide to stand in one particular place every single time that you talk to them, even if you haven't seen them or you're not trusting you're feeling them. Just if your guide is here and your inner awareness, whenever you talk to them, is always going there, you are going to develop a relationship that's very strong, trust me, and intimate. Know that it's a co-creative relationship. You're not just going, oh, thank you. You are working together. It's an intimate relationship. You're learning how to have a relationship together. You are working together on it. You are the instrument, not me, not Fred, not my beautiful dog, Micah, who's like, look at him. Look at how cute. Oh, God. It's just so cute. You are the instrument. You. Okay. And that means the way you hear, the way you see, the way you feel, the way you know, you have to learn how they are working with your instrument. Super important, okay? Difference between a psychic and a medium. So this is kind of a little bit old school, but I'm going to teach this anyway. Mediums, now there's two different schools of thought with mediums. There are mediums out there that believe you're only a medium when you're talking to a deceased loved one. You don't want my opinion on that because I will curse and curse and curse. A medium for me is someone who takes their information from their guides or from a deceased loved one, and they are the medium for the information, and they deliver the information to the person, okay? To the planet, to whatever they're doing. So they are the channel, the medium in between. Medium is in between two things. Psychics usually are reading everything that you're wearing like a coat. They're not taking their information from a source energy. They're taking it from you. So they're just reading you. So that's a lot of times you'll go to psychics and be like, they knew everything. You want to go to somebody who tells you things that you don't know, that you find out later on or they come true. Then you know you're in a medium's experience, okay? So psychics will do that. Some psychics and mediums don't know it. All mediums are psychic. All mediums can read that energy that way. When I work, I'm always working with my guides, and my guides are talking to your guides. I do not take in your information. The only time I take it in is if I do take it in to combine it with what my guides are telling me so that it's working together, or if I need to confirm certain things, but that's a whole other story, okay? So that is the summary of what a medium are, what guides are, and how guides can guides, hear this, guys. Guides will change your life. Guides are direct reflectors of your soul. Direct reflectors of your soul. And what that means is they are reflecting your true light. They are giving you direction. They are helping you with choices. They are helping you own your own true light. They are reflectors of your true light. So that's what I have to tell you. Let me see what your questions are. If you put feel in, yeah, I have a big problem. So when I was studying, right, I was studying with some of the very famous mediums out there. We don't get along. I'll just say it that way, because they were very much like, if I do future readings, I don't do readings anymore, guys. I only do readings for people in my paid programs. I do group readings in there and everything. I don't do readings for people. The only way I do it is if you buy a month with me. It's on my website. I don't really do them. I only do them for my paid people that are in my paid programs. There's a reason for that, because I want you to learn how to do it for yourself. But when I was studying and out there, there were mediums out there that said, if you're doing a life reading, that's a psychic reading. I'm like, no, it's not. A psychic reading is me reading what's on you. I am not impressed by a medium who tells me everything I know. I am impressed by the medium who is sharing information that has not yet come into my existence. Now, did I create that? I don't know. I have stories that'll knock your fucking socks off. Things they told me that neither of us knew that came true. Crazy stuff, like really good stuff, which I will share down the line. I want to get back into it again. I want to start opening that door up again, because I have a specific information and stuff around it. I'm just doing things in stages. I do it if I'm in my groups. I will do it. So those mediums out there, I had such an issue with them. And what I found was, so there was one time one of them was teaching. I went to one of her classes. She was actually good. I'm not going to say she wasn't, but she had a big school, and they were like, go, people were going to study with her. And I said to my guides, should I study with her? And they said, no. And I was like, why? I was already working full time with a waiting list. My guides were like, no, we want you studying other things. And I kept asking, like, you sure? Like, shouldn't I go study? And they were like, no. And I was watching these different mediums go into the school and studying with these, that other school, and I'm not going to get into it. And I realized when I saw those mediums, they were very formulaic. Now, it doesn't mean they weren't good at what they do. There was mediums out there that specialize in spirit deceased loved ones communication. And when somebody comes to me for just that, I usually send them to certain people or I tell them, go find someone who specializes in that. That's all they do. I think that they're phenomenal. Some of them, I really do. And that's what they specialize in. I don't. I do life. So your father's going to come through and I'm going to talk about your life because they don't care. They're fine on the other side. It's you who needs to move forward. So what happened? So after that, I realized, oh my goodness, thank God I didn't study with her. Excuse me, God. Because I would have been very formulaic. It would have limited my way of doing things, the way I teach. So thank goodness. That's what your guides do for you. They are direct reflectors of your soul. I was watching everybody go through this and I'm like, I'm supposed to be there. And my guides are like, no, you're not. And I'm like, are you sure? Damn, were they right. Damn, were they right. That's what your guides do for you. That's what they do for you. Okay, I'm going to tell you, okay, if a medium have both, and that's why I can't remember what I tell people when they ask me days later. Yeah, I never remember, Lisa. People will come to me and they'll be like, it usually takes about the 6th time that they have come to me that I'm like, oh, now I remember you. I don't remember you. I don't remember your reading. People will come to me and say, you said such and such. I'm like, okay. I don't remember any of it. Any of it. Sometimes I'll remember little things. The stories I can tell, I wish I can't, some of them I can tell because they were so big, but usually I couldn't even retain the stories at all. All right. So put in feel, if you want to meet a guide and you want to learn how to see and feel a guide. Let me see if there's any questions. Okay, great. All right. So you want to, I'm trying to think of a ghost story because I have so many of them. Oh, I know. I'll tell you a ghost story. You ready? Okay. I have a lot of ghost stories. So I was living in that haunted apartment. I was in Brooklyn then, so my accent was even thicker than it is now. The Brooklyn Banshee for your podcast title. Thank you. Oh. So anyway, I was a channeler, works with the deceased. Yes, I am a channeler. It's whatever you're comfortable calling yourself. I like the word psychic medium. It works for me. And I don't care what other people define it as any longer. It used to piss me off. It was a platform, but it doesn't any longer. So anyway, I was living I have so much to say about this topic, too much to say about it. Actually, I wrote an article once. It's on my website. It's called Why I Won't Talk to Your Dead Uncle. And it's a very funny, good article. So if you want to go to my website, marilynlaurie.com and read it, you'll read it. It's a really good article. So anyway, I was living in this apartment with my friend, and it was haunted. And my gifts were opening up, but I didn't know like what I was working at MTV at the time, like crazy and really like in my life, So I had no idea what was going on. And I was getting ready for work, and my bed was made because I always make my bed. And my keys were on my bed, and I was getting ready to leave, and I could not find my keys. And I was putting my hands all over the bedspread, and especially right by the edge of the bed. And I could not find my keys anywhere. I'm like, are they there? I can't find them. Where are they? So I go to work, and I asked my roommate to make me another set of keys and put them in my car because I think she was going away that night. I was going away the next day to meet her. So I needed keys. So I came home that night with a set of keys. I came into my bedroom, took off my clothes on my bed, still checking the bed. I'm like, no keys. I get dressed again, take my clothes off the bed, get dressed. I go out, party like a fucking banshee again, come back home, open the door to my bedroom. What's there right on the bed? The keys. I was like, thank goodness I brought a guy home with me. He was a friend. But I'm glad he was there with me because I would have been so scared. So scared. So that's the key story. But I have a lot of stories. That apartment was crazy. They would turn on the lights. They would touch my feet. It was like nuts what went on there. All right, guys. So put in feel. Let me know your biggest takeaway. And I hope that you enjoy the accents really out today. Enjoy this live. And I'm sorry about the gift right away. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.